hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm about to share something that I personally collected, and this is not just a story. This actually happened. This incident took place back in 1992 in a small town called Oakwood in the state of Kansas, United States. For privacy reasons, some names and locations have been changed. It was a hushed, peaceful area, open fields all around, only a few houses, and once night fell, the entire place would go completely silent. And the man this happened to, his name was Saheb Ali. What happened to him that night still gives chills to anyone who hears it. He was known to everyone by one name, Saheb Ali. In that entire area, that's how people recognized him. He was a simple farmer by trade, a quiet man, kept to himself, lived a very ordinary life. But he had a strange habit. Almost every night he would go out carrying a flashlight, heading toward the water to fish. With him, he always carried a long, sharp spear-like tool, something he used for catching fish. Locals in that part of the U.S. often called it a fish spear. In the dark of night, standing alone near swamps or muddy water, he would go fishing, especially for fish that hide deep inside holes and muddy burrows. Catching them wasn't easy. It required skill, patience, and a lot of courage. And Saheb Ali was extremely good at it. Just like every other day, he would leave fully prepared, flashlight, spear, and all his tools with him. But he had no idea that one night, this same routine would take him face to face with something that would become the most terrifying experience of his life. Usually, he would go out at night and return home by early morning. After that, he would sleep for 4 to 5 hours, then head straight to the fields for work. That was his daily routine, and during the rainy season, this habit became even more consistent. So, on one of those rainy nights, just like always, Saheb Ali went fishing again. That area was close to a river. Imagine a large river flowing right beside Oakwood, Kansas. During the rainy season, when the river would rise, small canals, ditches, and wetlands around it would get completely flooded, and that's when those places became perfect spots for fishing. Water everywhere, mud everywhere, and complete darkness. For him, this was the best season for fishing. That night, too, he reached a familiar spot and stopped. Suddenly, he noticed a hole in the muddy ground. In his mind, he thought, maybe there's a fish hiding inside. Let me try. Slowly, he moved closer to the hole. He began using his fishing technique step by step. I've heard that to catch fish like this, you usually have to place bait or a hooked trap inside the hole. Then you wait, and when the fish bites, you slowly try to pull it out. That's exactly what Saheb Ali was doing. But what he didn't realize was, inside that hole, it wasn't just a fish waiting. He carefully pushed his baited spear deeper into the hole. Normally, if there's a fish inside, it reacts quickly. It bites almost immediately. But that night, something strange happened. There was no movement, no response, just silence. Saheb Ali waited a few seconds, then a few more. Still nothing. That's when he started to feel it. Something about this didn't feel right. A few seconds after he pushed the spear into the hole, something strange happened. It suddenly felt like something from inside forcefully pushed it back out, like someone had grabbed it and thrown it away. It was that clear. Saheb froze in place. What just happened, he thought, because in all his years of fishing, he had never seen anything like this. He had inserted the spear with his own hands, and yet it came flying back out on its own. The hole was filled with water, dark, silent, and deep. But what exactly was inside that darkness, he still couldn't understand. How was this even possible? Saheb couldn't understand it at all. One thought kept spinning in his mind. What's inside that hole? But instead of fear, he started feeling something else, curiosity. He even convinced himself, maybe there's a big fish down there, something really strong, and now, no matter what, he had to catch it. So he tried again and again. But the strange thing was, every single time he pushed the spear inside the hole, it got pushed right back out, again and again. Even after several attempts, he didn't stop. If anything, his determination only grew stronger. By then, it was deep into the night. Everything around him was completely silent, only the faint sound of water and his own breathing. Then, suddenly, something changed. For the first time, he felt a pull on the spear. From inside the hole, it felt like something was grabbing it and pulling it in. His eyes lit up. This time, it must have taken the bait, he thought. Slowly but firmly, he started pulling the spear back. At first, it felt normal, like a fish struggling on the line. But something about it didn't feel right. It was too heavy, too strange. And then it hit him. He had no idea whether what he was pulling out of that hole was even a fish at all. He kept pulling with all his strength, slowly, carefully, like he was dragging something heavy out from deep inside. But the more he pulled, the more it felt like something on the other side was pulling with the same force, like an equal struggle from both sides. At one point, it became clear, even with all his strength, he couldn't move it even an inch. That's when a small doubt started creeping into his mind. But by then, dawn was already starting to break. A faint light was spreading across the sky. He looked around and thought, let me leave it for now, I'll come back with people in the morning. Then he quickly found a strong stick and tied the rope of the spear tightly to it. He placed it crosswise, tightly, so whatever was inside couldn't pull it back into the hole. Then he left the spot, thinking to himself, in the morning I'll come back with people. We'll dig it out no matter what it is. But when he returned the next morning with a few locals, everything looked exactly the same. The stick was still in place, the hole was unchanged, but the rope was snapped, cleanly torn right in the middle. Saheb didn't think much of it. He assumed, must have been a big fish. It struggled and broke the rope. And just like that, he let it go. He didn't give it any more thought. But the story didn't end there. 2 or 3 days later, something strange appeared on his right hand. At first, it was just a small spot, nothing that seemed serious. But within a very short time, it started spreading across his entire hand. Pain, burning, and unusual swelling. It got worse day by day. Finally, he went to see a doctor. The doctor looked at his hand for a long moment without saying anything. Then he spoke very seriously. Your condition is bad, really bad. If we don't act quickly and remove the infected part, it could spread through your whole body. Saheb was shocked. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. The doctor then asked, did you come into contact with anything poisonous or infected? But Saheb couldn't think of anything, nothing, except that one night a few days ago, the night he tried to pull something unknown out of a dark hole. In the end, with no other option left, following the doctor's advice, Saheb had to undergo surgery. His right arm was amputated from the elbow. After that, for nearly 4 to 5 months, he couldn't do any work at all. Slowly, over time, he recovered. But now he had only one hand left, his left hand. With that single hand, he started working in the fields again. Life gradually began to feel normal once more. Time passed. The rainy season ended. Winter arrived. One night, just beside his house, there was a small pond. It wasn't even very deep or full, just a quiet, ordinary place. But that night, he suddenly heard a strange sound. From inside the water, a heavy, strange movement, a sloshing, bubbling sound, like something large was shifting under the surface. It sounded exactly like a big fish moving in the water. Saheb knew that sound very well. After years of fishing, he could recognize it instantly, but still, something about that sound made his chest tighten. At first, Saheb didn't take it too seriously. He thought to himself, there's no way fish can even survive in a pond like this. Then he tried to explain it in his own way. Maybe it's just a big lizard or some kind of water animal coming out at night to hunt frogs. That sounded more logical to him, so he ignored it. But the strange part was something completely different. The sound didn't happen once or twice. It started coming every day at the same time, around 1:30 a.m., sometimes 1:30, even 2, and it would continue for a long time. That heavy movement inside the water, like something large was shifting under the surface. And then, suddenly,